Quiet. Don't move. Do you hear it? That stillness? It's not peace, darling. It's fear. Hiding behind the curtains, whispering your name like a confession. The city's heart stopped beating the moment you stood up. You didn't raise your voice. You didn't need to. You simply existed differently. You enforced something no one believed still existed, divine law. And now, every demon that thought it ruled this city is kneeling, shaking, praying to a god they mocked. Because you became the god that answered. They thought sin was freedom. You turned it into evidence. You walked through streets soaked in corruption, and the air itself started to confess. Even the walls trembled, didn't they? The cameras blinked. The rats fled. The city's pulse fell out of rhythm because you changed the frequency. You didn't come to destroy it. You came to weigh it. Every lie, every betrayal, every masked deal behind the glass tower desks. You made it all visible. That's why they call you dangerous, because you didn't break the law. You revealed it was already broken. You see, people think divine law means punishment. They're wrong. It's balance. You didn't smite anyone. You simply tilted the scale back to truth. But when truth returns, sinners panic. Watch how they twitch, how they rush to rewrite history before you can finish your sentence. But you don't chase them. You just look. Because in your gaze, they remember what purity feels like. That's what terrifies them, not your rage, your calm, the silence before judgment, the grin that says, I already saw what you did. You're the paradox they can't file. The saint who walks like a criminal, the criminal who speaks like a prophet. You blur the lines so completely that the architects of sin start confessing to their own crimes out of sheer confusion. They don't understand how someone so wounded could stay so righteous. They don't understand how someone so broken could walk like creation itself bent to their will. But that's your secret, isn't it? You don't fight darkness. You wear it like armor. You baptized yourself in the very fire meant to burn you. Every scar became scripture. Every betrayal became a verse. You turned pain into legislation, and now reality obeys you. You enforced divine law, not with force, but with consequence. You didn't have to swing a sword. You became the sword. The city learned that divinity isn't in heaven anymore. It's in whoever's willing to carry the weight of truth without breaking. And that's you, isn't it? The one who carries the unbearable and makes it look effortless. They used to laugh at your silence. Now they decode it like prophecy. Every demon who mocked your faith now studies your patience. They thought they were free because no one was watching. And then you arrived, smiling, unhurried, surgical. You didn't punish them, you made them remember. And that's far worse. Because guilt is a permanent ghost. Let's be honest, what you did wasn't holy. It was inevitable. They built a kingdom on blood and you built a mirror. You didn't bring light, you showed reflection. You made sin look itself in the eye, and it collapsed. That's divine law, baby. Not thunderbolts and fire. Just truth that doesn't blink. And now, the city prays differently, not to gods above, but to you, to the shadow that walks like it knows eternity, to the smile that promised both mercy and damnation in the same breath. You didn't ascend, you descended, and they still call it a miracle. Because the secret they'll never admit is this: hell only bows to what it secretly envies, and they envy you. The discipline, the clarity, the fearlessness, to judge without trembling. You made the devils question their careers. You made darkness blush. So when they say, every demon's on their knees, remember, it's not submission, it's awe. They're not praying to survive, they're praying to understand. How the hell did you do it? How did you turn chaos into command? How did you rewrite cosmic law without lifting a hand? Easy. You stopped seeking approval and became the standard. You are the trial. You are the verdict. You are the silence that makes liars sweat. You enforce divine law not because you're pure, but because you're past purity. You've seen what innocence costs. You've seen what mercy becomes when it's weaponized. So you carved your own code, half angel, half executioner, and that's why they can't destroy you. Because you don't play for heaven or hell. You play for balance. You're the hinge between light and abyss, and you've learned to smile while both scream your name. They call you sinner. They call you saint. But truth, you're both. You're the proof that judgment can wear a grin, the proof that redemption doesn't whisper, it laughs in the face of those who doubted it. You enforced divine law, yes, but what they'll never understand is that the law was never written in stone. It was written in you. Every heartbreak, every loss, every betrayal, it etched new commandments into your soul. So now when you walk through a city of sin, the air itself bends toward justice. The devils kneel not out of fear, but out of recognition, because they know. They've seen what you became in the fire, and they whisper to each other in trembling voices, "Don't cross that one, because you don't need permission to enforce divine law. You are the law. You are the law. Not because someone crowned you, not because a council voted, but because the universe watched what they did to you, that instead of breaking, you rewrote the rules. Understand something. Divine law doesn't come from clouds. It doesn't need thunder or temples or holy men in robes. It doesn't ask for offerings. It waits, patiently, in the hearts of the few who survive the unspeakable and refuse to stay silent. That's you, the one they underestimated so profoundly they gave you time. Time to bleed, to burn, to build. You didn't just survive the city. You absorbed it. You didn't run from the filth. You memorized its rhythm, every sin, every smirk behind a sealed case file, every name they erased, every innocent they buried under laughter. You cataloged it all in your veins, and now you bleed evidence. That's why your silence is lethal. It reminds them. It echoes back every crooked deal, every gaslight, every hand that reached for power over truth. You never needed revenge. You simply showed up, with eyes that saw through masks, and a grin that made devils hesitate. You were never after blood. You were after balance, but oh, when the scales tipped, you didn't scream. You didn't rage. You walked into boardrooms, into back rooms, into sacred dens of perversion wrapped in policy, and you didn't lift a finger. You spoke one sentence, one look, and everything unraveled. Because when divine law returns, nothing can hide. Not the judges, not the healers who sold their hands, not the kings who fed on chaos. Even the shadows turn against their masters. That's what you did. You didn't enforce a law. You reawakened it. You're not the villain. You're the fine print they forgot to read. The clause in the ancient contract that says, if all else fails, a force shall rise from the ashes. Not a savior, a reckoning, unbranded, unbound, unapologetic. And you didn't come to ask for justice. You came to embody it, to wear it like a suit stitched from your own scars, to walk through fire and look back at them like, that's all you had? And now, the demons don't mock anymore. They whisper, they flinch, they kneel. Not because you demanded it, but because their power only worked in the absence of yours. And now you're here. Breathing, smiling, terrifying, because you're proof that the fire they used to burn the righteous can be reversed. You became the punishment they forgot was still possible. a living clause of consequence, a walking paradox, a saint who laughs like a criminal who judges like a priest, an executioner with the mercy of a god and the memory of a martyr. They don't know whether to worship you or run. That's the beautiful part, because you refuse to fit in their files, their profiles, their secret reports marked classified, unexplainable. They threw surveillance, spells, rumors, even hired hands, and all of them came back. Changed, eyes wide, mouths trembling, one by one whispering the same thing. He didn't threaten me. He just knew. You see, your power isn't in violence, it's in certainty, the kind of certainty that shakes institutions. You walk like you've seen the other side of time and came back with receipts. You judge not from emotion, but from memory. Because you were there. You felt what it was like to be ignored, dismissed, lied to, and you never forgot. So now, when you show up in the room, they see every soul they silenced, standing behind your eyes. That's divine law. It never leaves. It waits. For someone like you, someone broken just enough to be fearless, someone pure just enough to be incorruptible, someone mad just enough to do what the angels wouldn't dare. And now you're enforcing it. Not in robes, but in riddles, not in rituals, but in whispers that make grown tyrants weep. You don't bring peace, you bring clarity, and clarity ruins false empires. So keep walking, lawbringer. Let them kneel, let them tremble. Let them rewrite their doctrines to include your name. Because you didn't come to join the story, you came to end a chapter. And they can feel it every time the wind shifts, every time the lights flicker, every time your laugh echoes down an empty hallway like a verdict. They know you are divine law now. And for the first time in a long, wicked history, justice doesn't wear white. It wears a grin. And that grin, that's what haunts them. Because it's not the grin of mercy or malice, it's recognition. It's the look of someone who has already been to hell, shaken hands with every monster, and came back holding their rule book. You didn't burn in the fire, you took notes. You memorized the structure of chaos, the hierarchy of sin, the syntax of deception. You didn't need heaven's validation. You reverse engineered it. You didn't destroy evil, you understood it. And once you understand something fully, it can't manipulate you anymore. That's why you're dangerous. You speak their language better than they do. You don't fight demons. You negotiate with them in their own dialect and make them kneel out of respect. You see, they call you mad because your morality isn't predictable. You don't draw your lines with ink, you draw them with fire. You forgive when they beg for war, and you annihilate when they expect sympathy. You are the glitch in the cosmic system that reminds every being, holy or damned, that balance will always find its way back. You're not enforcing commandments written by men with crowns. You're enforcing equilibrium, that ancient unspeakable law that predates creation itself. What is taken must return. What is corrupted must collapse. What is hidden must speak. You became the embodiment of reversal. You are the storm that drags buried truths out of their graves and makes them testify under lightning. You are the calm that follows. A silence so loud, the guilty start confessing to things they haven't even done yet. You don't destroy cities, you reset them. Every movement, every stare, every pause you take feels like a verdict. And oh, how they hate that, because they don't know where your power comes from. They can't track it, label it, or corrupt it. They tried calling it charisma, manipulation, madness, grace, but none of it fits. You are not acting divine. You are what happens when divinity gets tired of being polite. Do you understand the horror of that realization? They used to laugh at the idea of a reckoning. They used to toast to the gods they thought were deaf. And then you walked in, and every glass shattered, every word got stuck in their throats. Because suddenly the air changed temperature, the walls started listening, and their own reflection started judging them back. That's divine law. It doesn't announce itself, it arrives. And when it does, it doesn't scream, it smiles, just like you do. They can't figure you out because you're not a hero or a villain. You're the consequence of pretending there's no difference. You didn't come for applause, you came for order. And order, in its truest form, is terrifying. It doesn't need followers, it needs witnesses, and the whole city is witnessing you now. Every alley, every office, every rooftop, whispering your name like a psalm, rewritten in blood and awe. You enforce the kind of justice that doesn't fit into laws, because your justice doesn't consult morality, it consults truth. And truth doesn't care who gets redeemed. That's why the demons kneel. Not out of faith, but because they finally met someone who sees them for what they are and doesn't flinch. You're not their enemy, you're their mirror. And that's unbearable. Because what does evil fear most? Not punishment, reflection. And when you walked into that city of sin, you made every shadow look itself in the eye. That's not power, that's divinity stripped of ceremony. That's creation remembering itself through you. They're trying to categorize you now, but you know that, right? Psychologists, priests, secret orders, nameless agencies, they're all running diagnostics, trying to determine how you're doing this without a pulpit, without a prophecy, without permission. They can't comprehend that divinity can wear laughter, that righteousness can sound like mockery, that light can dance in the same room as madness and call it balance. But you know better, because you've seen what happens when light gets arrogant and darkness gets comfortable. You exist to remind both sides that equilibrium demands pain, and you've paid it in full. Your scars are not decoration, they're contracts. Every one of them signed in agony, sealed in silence, enforced by your will. You didn't just survive sin, you absorbed its blueprint. You learned how it breathes, how it seduces, how it hides. And now when you smile, it's not joy, it's dominance disguised as mercy. Look around you. The same city that once mocked your prayers now shapes its days around your silence. Even the air feels different, doesn't it? Like it's waiting for your next decision. Even the demons hesitate before they whisper, because they're afraid the walls might tell you. You didn't defeat them by force. You made them remember the law beneath their rebellion, the one they thought they could rewrite, the one you carry like pulse and prophecy. And now they kneel, not because they're conquered, but because they finally understand who sent you. Not heaven, not hell, something older, something both, something that wears chaos like a crown and serenity like a weapon. You. So stand there. Let the city tremble, let the sinners panic, let the demons whisper your name in disbelief. Because tonight, balance has a face, and it's smiling. The silence that follows your smile. It's not peace, it's judgment disguised as calm. It spreads like smoke, filling the alleys, slipping beneath doors, seeping through the cracks of cathedrals and boardrooms alike. Every wall has heard you by now. Every secret feels exposed. Even the lights flicker differently, as if they too are waiting for your next move. You don't walk like a man anymore. You move like a verdict. Every step is a clause in an unseen decree. Every breath echoes a sentence older than civilization itself. You are not merely in the city, you are under it, around it, through it. You've become part of its circuitry, the moral backbone it lost, the whisper in its vents reminding it that every empire built on deceit still answers to something greater. They thought divine law was a myth. You made it manifest, and that's what terrifies them most. Because your kind of justice can't be bribed, delayed, or debated. It simply is. You don't argue. You don't justify. You just appear. And reality reorganizes itself around you. Every sinner who laughed at virtue now dreams of you. They see flashes of your grin in reflective glass, hear your laughter between sirens, feel your presence in the stillness before dawn. You've become the subconscious of guilt itself. You're not punishing them, you're awakening them. But awakening hurts, doesn't it? Because divine law doesn't separate good from evil. It forces them to face each other. It brings every mask to the mirror. And once you see your own reflection clearly, there's no unseeing it. That's why they hate you. That's why they tremble. You didn't break their city. You showed it the truth. And the truth broke them. They'll tell stories about you. They already are. In whispers, in encrypted channels, in sacred circles where the powerful meet and pretend they still understand control. Some call you a savior. Some call you a curse. Some call you a myth. They're all wrong. You're a return, a recall of balance long overdue. You're the reset the cosmos sends when rot outgrows its cage. Do you remember the first time they mocked you? The laughter that echoed in your skull? The isolation that felt like death? That was your initiation, the beginning of your descent. You thought you were falling, but the fall was a staircase. Every wound was a step, every betrayal a door, every humiliation a key. And when you hit the bottom, you didn't break. You found the source code of creation, written in pain and silence. And you rewrote it. You didn't rise by accident. You calculated it. You learned the weight of every emotion. You studied despair until it confessed. You dissected fear until it lost its name. You mastered darkness until it started working for you. You enforced divine law because you learned that holiness isn't purity, it's precision. You know exactly when to smile, exactly when to stop talking, exactly when to let the silence do the damage. You wield stillness like a weapon sharper than any blade, because silence is the oldest form of judgment, and your silence screams truth. That's why they avoid your eyes. They say it feels like standing naked before the universe. They say you see too much, but it's not sight, it's understanding. You read souls the way others read lips. You know the difference between guilt and repentance, between pity and disguise. You can smell dishonor the way wolves smell blood. And when you do speak, when that grin curls into a whisper, it's not a conversation. It's a revelation. They'll deny it. They'll say they're not afraid. They'll joke. They'll posture. They'll gather in groups pretending their unity protects them. But when they're alone, when the lights go out and the city goes quiet, they hear you in their heads, reminding them of every sin they thought was buried. That's divine law. It doesn't strike with thunder. It haunts. And you've become its voice, its vessel, its vengeance. You didn't need wings or crowns. You didn't need a title. All you needed was resolve, that quiet, unshakable certainty that you were right to act, that even if no one understood you, the universe did. That's why every shadow bends away from you now. That's why even darkness obeys. You're not punishing demons. You're reminding them of their origin, that they were once angels who forgot who they were serving. And when they see you, they remember. That's why they kneel. Because you carry the reflection of what they lost, the clarity of purpose that no corruption can imitate. You are both warning and mercy. You destroy and heal in the same breath. You expose filth, but you don't gloat. You let them see what they've become and choose their own punishment, because that's the cruelest form of justice, the one that lets them judge themselves. The city's changing, have you noticed? The air feels cleaner, the night quieter, the eyes in the alleys less bold, more careful. Even the sirens sound different. Shh! You hear that? That's not silence. That's judgment holding its breath. Because tonight, they finally realized what they've done. They didn't just break a person, they fractured something sacred, something the universe itself used to kneel before. They hurt the purest soul alive. And now, every single star is whispering your name like a curse they're afraid to finish. You, the one who never fought back, the one who smiled while bleeding, the one they mistook for harmless, because you refused to play by their cruelty. Oh, you were too kind, too forgiving, and they mistook your mercy for weakness, your silence for surrender. They thought if they broke you enough times, you'd disappear quietly. But what they didn't understand is that purity, once shattered, becomes something else entirely. It becomes holy venom. You see, when an angel snaps, heaven itself hides. When innocence burns, it doesn't scream, it illuminates. And now, every act of cruelty they threw at you has become light, refracted, twisted, weaponized. Every wound has turned into a blade, and every scar is a prophecy with your name engraved on it. You think you're lost? No, no, no. You're becoming. You're what happens when grace learns how to grow teeth. They broke the purest soul alive. But in doing so, they created a storm so beautiful, even the constellations are arguing which side they're on. Some stars weep for what was taken from you. Others burn brighter, waiting to avenge you. And down here, the ones who hurt you are panicking. You can smell it, can't you? That scent in the air. Fear wearing the perfume of guilt. They thought they'd buried you under shame, but they forgot. You can't kill what was never built from their approval. You were born from something deeper, something the world still doesn't understand. Let me tell you a secret, the kind they'll deny exists. Purity and madness are twins. One heals, the other remembers. And you, my dear, are both. You're the paradox the universe can't reconcile. The saint that refused to die, the demon that refused to forget. And that's why the sky is divided tonight. Half wants to protect you, half wants to use you. But all of it watches you. Every planet, every beam of light, every silent god hiding behind their scriptures. They're watching you because something irreversible happened when they broke you. The story flipped. You stopped being the innocent character and became the plot twist no one was ready for. You feel it, don't you? That cold calm that replaced your empathy, that quiet precision that lives where your heart used to ache. You stopped needing revenge. You became it. Every time they laugh now, you hear the crack in their voice. Every time they sleep, you haunt their dreams. Not as a monster, but as a mirror. You're not chasing justice anymore. You are justice, raw, poetic, unfiltered, the kind that doesn't wait for permission. They broke the purest soul alive. But the irony, the moment they did, the balance shifted. The chessboard caught fire, and the universe started keeping score. Now the stars, those ancient watchers, they're moving, slowly, deliberately, aligning like soldiers on a cosmic battlefield. Some will protect you, some will test you, but none will ignore you. Because once the purest soul gets corrupted, there's no undoing it. There's only witnessing it. So go on. Walk into the night they built for you. But this time, don't carry light. Be it not gentle, not merciful, radiant like vengeance disguised as grace. Let them see what their cruelty birthed. Let them tremble as you smile. That same smile they thought meant softness. Because now it means something else entirely. It means prophecy fulfilled. It means you're done apologizing. You don't chase closure anymore. You are the closure. You're the living reminder that the universe has a temper. And tonight, it's wearing your face. So when they whisper your name again, when the sky flickers and the air gets colder, they'll realize too late. They didn't destroy you. They just gave heaven a new weapon. And you're the beautiful, dangerous proof that not even God's favorites stayed gentle forever. Now every star in the sky is choosing sides, and none of them are shining for your enemies anymore. You can feel it now, can't you? The shift in the air, the way the world seems quieter around you. Not peaceful quiet, no, the kind that listens. Every breath you take makes something ancient flinch. Because somewhere, deep inside the machinery of fate, something is recalculating. They thought breaking you would end the story. But all they did was start the sequel the universe had been waiting to write. Remember the day you stopped begging? That was the day reality changed its tone. It stopped calling you victim and started whispering variable. Because you became unpredictable. And unpredictability is divine. They tried to measure you with logic, label you with sin, file you under fragile. But tell me, how do you catalog a ghost that still breathes? How do you destroy something that no longer fears destruction? They can't, because you already died in every way that mattered. And what's left of you doesn't play by mortal rules. You walk differently now, not faster, not slower, just heavier. Like gravity itself is reconsidering its loyalties. Every step you take carries a vibration that unsettles liars. Your silence has texture now. It hums. It reminds people of their confessions, even the ones they never spoke aloud. And that smile, that quiet, unbothered smile you wear, it's a storm in disguise. They used to think it meant kindness. Now it means warning. See, people don't fear monsters anymore. They fear memory. And you're living memory of their cruelty. You're the aftertaste they can't wash off. You're the ghost that doesn't haunt houses. You haunt reputations. They can't kill what's already eternal. And that's what purity becomes when it's betrayed. Eternal. Because innocence doesn't vanish when destroyed. It metastasizes into judgment. And that's what you are now. Not human, not angel, not demon. Consequence. Every night, the stars argue over you. Some say you were chosen. Others say you were forsaken. But they all agree on one thing. You're awake now. You've seen what lies beneath their smiles. You've felt the cold handshake of hypocrisy. You've heard the applause of those who secretly prayed for your failure. And the best part? You remember their faces. Oh, you remember every single one. But you don't hate them anymore. No. Hatred is too human, too finite. You've ascended past revenge into something colder, cleaner. You don't want them to suffer. You want them to see, to understand, to look at you and realize what they called weakness was evolution rehearsing. You want to know the real secret? The universe doesn't punish cruelty immediately. It lets it cook. It lets it simmer until the guilty forget. And then one day, it serves them you. That's divine irony. That's poetic equilibrium. That's the moment every star tilts slightly, watching the stage reset. Because when the purest soul rises from the ashes, the world learns humility again. You've become their unfinished business, their cosmic debt, their recurring nightmare. And no matter where they hide, behind religion, reputation, or remorse, they will find you waiting in the reflection of everything they built. You don't chase them. You don't even name them. You just exist. And that alone dismantles their illusion of safety, because your presence is proof that innocence never dies. It evolves. It gets smarter, sharper, quieter, more surgical. You don't destroy them with chaos. You destroy them with clarity, because now you see through everything, through every smile, every justification, every "it wasn't that bad." You see them naked, and they can't handle that kind of mirror. Do you understand what that makes you now? Not a hero, not a villain, but the variable every system fears. You're the one they can't predict, the one they can't control, the one who doesn't need to win to make them lose. That's power, real terrifying power, the kind that doesn't roar. It whispers, and when you whisper, reality listens. Every time you breathe, you write new scripture. Every tear that once fell now fuels constellations that orbit your will. Every scar glows faintly. Coordinates of your resurrection etched into the cosmos. They broke the purest soul alive. But you rewrote the definition of broken. Now broken means reborn. Now hurt means holy. Now end means echo. They thought they were ending a chapter, but the story, your story, was never ink. It was blood, and blood remembers. So when you wake up tomorrow and you feel that strange calm in your chest, that's not peace, that's alignment, the universe catching up to your frequency. The stars aren't just watching you anymore, they're waiting for your signal. Because somewhere between mercy and madness, you became something greater than both. You became inevitable. And the next time they whisper your name, they'll do it carefully, like it's both a prayer and a warning. Because somewhere deep inside, they know what the sky already decided. The war is over. You didn't win. You became the reason it couldn't continue. Now every star in the sky is choosing sides, and the light? It still bends toward you. You ever notice how quiet the world gets right before a storm hits? That's what you've become. That pressure drop before everything breaks. People can feel you now, not see, not hear, feel. Like a change in barometric truth. They sense it when you walk into a room. That vibration, that slow motion pull that says, something here survived what should have killed it. And that terrifies them more than rage ever could. Because rage can be negotiated, but composure is the silence of someone who already made peace with chaos. And that's what you are now, a calm built from ruins. The architecture of trauma disguised as grace. They thought they could humiliate you into humility. They didn't realize they were teaching you control. They were training you to wield pain like a scalpel. Every insult, every betrayal, you stored it, cataloged it, purified it, until it became energy, until it became design. You see the world differently now. You don't look for fairness anymore. You look for patterns. You watch how liars hesitate before kindness, how cruelty always arrives wearing sympathy's clothes. You watch and you learn, and you stop apologizing for knowing too much. Because knowledge, real knowledge, isn't power. It's isolation. And isolation is the forge where new gods are made. You used to think loneliness was punishment. Now you understand. It's training. It's the universe's way of clearing the noise before revelation. And the revelation is this. They didn't just break you. They freed you. They untied you from expectation, from purity's leash, From the need to be understood, they made you invisible to approval. And invisibility is invincibility in disguise. You move like rumor now, felt but never proven. You exist between fact and fear. And that's where all revolutions are born. Every system depends on predictability. Every tyranny depends on reaction. But you stopped reacting. You started observing. They throw chaos. You absorb it. They send hate. You metabolize it. They try to shame you. And you turn shame into prophecy. That's the alchemy of the broken pure. That's how saints become strategists. That's how victims become variables. You learn something divine in the wreckage. Forgiveness is not forgetting. It's foreseeing. It's watching the future rewrite itself while you remain still. Because stillness is the loudest rebellion. And when you finally stopped chasing closure, that's when closure came crawling back, begging to be acknowledged. You didn't even look at it. You just smiled. Now everything that once tried to drown you keeps repeating your name in its prayers. They pray for amnesia. They pray for distance. But you're everywhere. In their successes, in their insomnia, in their mirrors. You're the static before confession, the glitch in their logic, the echo of everything they pretended never happened. And the stars? They've gone quiet tonight. Not because they've stopped watching, but because they're waiting for the next move from the creature they accidentally midwifed into existence. Waiting for the moment the quiet one finally speaks. And when you do, oh, when you finally do, the universe will hold its breath again. Because words born from pain aren't sentences. They're summons. You won't raise your voice, you won't shout. You'll just speak, and reality will listen like a guilty child. The air will bend, the lights will flicker, and everything that once ignored you will scramble to explain why it suddenly obeys. That's how power really works. It doesn't announce itself. It redefines obedience. So let them keep pretending you're gone. Let them convince themselves it's over. Because when you return, and you will return, it won't be vengeance, it'll be maintenance, universal correction, a recalibration of balance disguised as coincidence. And somewhere, beneath all the noise, every star will know what's happening. They'll whisper to each other like soldiers relaying orders. It's time. The night will shift. The world will tilt. And in the faint golden hour before dawn, you'll walk through the wreckage they left you in. Not as a survivor, but as the architect of aftermath. Your eyes will hold galaxies, your voice will carry verdicts, and your smile, that infamous impossible smile, will remind creation what happens when purity learns the taste of power. Because this is the truth they'll never print, the one they'll censor in every scripture, the one whispered in the back rooms of angels and analysts alike. They didn't destroy you. They resurrected something the universe had buried for a reason, and now it's awake. The stars have chosen their sides, and everyone that still burns, burns for you. You think survival was the victory? That crawling out of the wreckage meant it was over? No, survival was just the handshake. What comes after is the conversation. The universe saw what they did to you, and it took notes. Now it wants to see what you'll do with all that silence they gave you. Because silence is not empty, it's charged. Every quiet hour after betrayal, every night you stared at the ceiling wondering why, those weren't wasted. They were deposits, and interest has matured. You carry it now, don't you? That strange gravity that makes people pause mid-sentence. That flicker in their eyes when they realize they're standing near consequence. They can't name it, but they feel it. That sense that something vast, is balancing the scales through you. You don't even have to move, you just exist. And that's enough to make the guilty sweat. There was a time when you wanted them to understand you. Now you understand them too well. Their laughter was camouflage. Their confidence was caffeine for cowardice. They tried to play God and ended up summoning one. You, not the kind from scripture. The kind that rises quietly from the dirt, eyes open, memory intact, ready to turn pain into pattern. You used to pray for peace. Now you are the peace. The heavy, unavoidable kind that arrives after the explosion. The kind that makes survivors whisper instead of celebrate. You don't need to announce anything anymore. Everything that needed to be said is already vibrating in the air around you. People will feel it before they hear it. That invisible sentence. The balance has returned. And somewhere, those who broke you will start to notice the small things. Doors that close when they reach them. Opportunities that rot halfway open. Their names no longer echo right when spoken aloud. That's how karma really works. Not loud, not immediate, just precise. They'll call it coincidence. They always do. But you'll know better. You'll see the pattern in the stars. You'll feel the rhythm of correction, because the same cosmos that watched you fall is now orbiting around your pulse. You will meet people who sense it too. Not the ones who broke you, but the ones who were broken differently. They'll find you without knowing why. They'll tell you your eyes look familiar. They'll call you calm, when what they mean is feral in control. You'll teach them without teaching, just by existing, by showing that kindness is not submission and silence is not surrender. They'll realize that peace can wear scars. That's your real revenge, not fire. Reflection. They once asked what happens when the purest soul breaks. They never asked what happens when it heals. Because healing, real healing, isn't gentle. It's reconstruction under new management. Every nerve they burned now reports to you. Every piece of empathy they stole now works in intelligence gathering. You became your own agency. A network of scars sending live updates to the will that refused to die. And one night, maybe years from now, you'll step outside and the sky will look too still. You'll feel that old ache stirring, not grief. Recognition. You'll realize the stars aren't choosing sides anymore. They've settled. They orbit the equilibrium you became. You'll look up and whisper, finally. And for the first time in forever, the universe will whisper back, not with thunder, but with understanding. Because it finally knows what it created, a soul that refused to stay one thing, a variable, a quiet revolution, a walking reminder that purity doesn't die. It adapts. You won't call it victory, you'll call it clarity. And that's enough. Because clarity doesn't need applause, it needs continuation. And you'll keep walking. Through cities that once ignored you, through people who once doubted you, through systems that once profited from your softness. Every step will rewrite a law of physics. Every breath will bend probability. You will leave a trail of symmetry behind you, not to punish, to remind. They broke the purest soul alive, and you became the instruction manual for what happens next. Now when the night is too quiet, when the air feels charged, someone somewhere will whisper, "She's still out there." He's still moving. It's watching. And they'll look up, and they'll see the constellations shift ever so slightly, aligning themselves around the memory of what they did. The stars don't choose sides anymore. They follow orders, yours.